Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good, hope you're keeping safe and well, and hope you're having a smashing Saturday evening wherever you are in the world and whatever you are planning to do tonight and have been up to today. Look, there's only one piece of news we can talk about, one piece of news we can discuss, and one piece of news that we can present to you guys on tonight's news video, and that is the news that came out roughly an hour ago that Hugo Lloris has expressed his desire to leave Tottenham Hotspur. The guy's been with us for roughly 10 years now, been a proper servant of this football club. Yet, in my opinion, it's the right decision. It's the right time for Hugo Lloris to leave Spurs for both the club and for the trajectory of his career. Hugo Lloris has given us so many great moments. And in my opinion, about 8 of those 10 years that he was with Spurs, he was one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Genuinely, he was one of the best goalkeepers in the world. When he won the World Cup with France as well, he was arguably the best in the world at that very point. And some of the saves he's made and some of the moments he's given us as a goalkeeper, rarely do you get goalkeepers giving you moments. This man has. One that springs to mind straight away: Arsenal at home, 1-1 in the final minute. Aubameyang gets a penalty, and us as fans are thinking, they're about to beat us on the road. They're about to beat us away from home for the first time in God knows how long. The banner's going to be horrendous. It's going to be painful. And we all prepared ourselves for the prospect of Arsenal scoring that penalty. Aubameyang steps up. Everyone thinks he's going to slot it away. Hugo Lloris with an outstanding save to deny Arsenal a win at home. That's one that springs to mind. Another one, the City penalty save. We've had some great moments with Hugo Lloris. Great moments. And that is why I think now is the right time for him to leave, because if he stayed another season with the amount of mistakes he's made this season and the fact he's getting older and he's only going to get worse, we wouldn't remember him for those 8-9 years where he was phenomenal, and sadly we'd remember him for the way it would have ended. And, yes, it's ended badly this season with Hugo Lloris, not when it comes to terms and discussions with the board, but just the way he's performed all season. But we're not going to remember him so much for this season, whereas if we kept him for another year, that would have been 2 years of poor performances, probably, from Hugo Lloris, and we would have remembered that more. For example, you could watch a great film that's great for a majority, but those last 10 minutes, they're the last thing you see. They're the last thing you remember, and you don't want those memories to be poor. You really don't want those memories to be poor. So look, Hugo Lloris leaving Tottenham Hotspur. The guy's been a proper servant of the club, but it was time to go. It was time to go. The guy has single-handedly cost us 6 games. 6 individual mistakes in 6 different games this season. Am I blaming Hugo Lloris completely for how shit Spurs have been this season? No. I think a lot of other players have to take accountability, and mainly the board. But it's as simple as this. If Hugo Lloris doesn't make 6 individual mistakes this season, more than any other goalkeeper, Tottenham Hotspur get Champions League football. As bad as we've been, and yes, like I say, I'm not completely blaming Lloris, because is he the main problem at the football club? Not at all. But 6 individual mistakes. He doesn't make that mistake against Arsenal away. He doesn't make that mistake against Arsenal at home. He doesn't make that mistake against Newcastle at home. The games are totally different, and surely Spurs get some points out of those games, which get us into a top 4 position. I wasn't too fussed about top 4, but if Hugo Lloris didn't make those 6 individual mistakes, Spurs are playing in the Champions League next season. It's as simple as that, and when you look at those facts and when you look at that evidence, for me, you've got to look at that and go, I love the guy for what he's given to us, but it was time to go, man. It was time to go. It's not going to get any better. And that's the sad truth of it. We all wanted, Hugo Lloris, if he was going to stay, to have a blind for the season next season. The sad truth of it is he's not going to. Once you start to decline as a footballer, you keep on going down and down and down. And people go, oh, Thiago Silva, 39, still world class. Thiago Silva hasn't declined. He hasn't declined. I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about when you get to an age when you start declining, it's only going to get worse. There are some players who can go until about 40 and don't start declining at all. For example, Thiago Silva, Ronaldo, who's still class in my opinion, although he plays in the Saudi League. But Hugo Lloris is one of those who hasn't been too fortunate with age, and the older he's gotten, I know goalkeepers can last longer, but the older he's gotten, the worse he's slowly got. Over time. And for me, we kept him another season. Maybe he makes 8 individual mistakes next season. And yes, it's ended quite badly, but I don't want it to end even worse. Damage limitation, put it that way for F1 fans. Damage limitation when it comes to Hugo Lloris' career. And like I say, Hugo Lloris leaving, it's an end of a chapter. The guy's been with us for the amount of teams and different players he's seen when he joined Spurs. You know, you look back on it, we were 7th, 8th, and then he experienced the whole Pochettino era as well. After, you know, he wasn't there for the Harry Redknapp era, he was there for the end of the AVB one, but he experienced the whole of the Pochettino era and all of that greatness. And then just as he's about to leave, the club's gone back to how it was before Pochettino came, and it's crazy to look at that. But look, the guy's been here for so many eras, which you can't say about a lot of these players. You know, what players have actually been under Pochettino, Nuno, Jose and Conte? Son, Kane, Dyer, Lloris. Struggled to think of some. Was Sanchez there from the beginning of the Poch era? Not really. Came in a little bit later, you know. A lot of the players have gone. Alderweireld, Toby, Dele, Ericsson, Wanyama, Dembele. Hugo Lloris is still with us. And despite him being poor this season, I'll always thank him for being a one-club man in his career, for being loyal. And look, I hope he goes to whatever club he goes to now, and I wish him all the best. I do wish him all the best. I think the Italian league would be a very good one for him. I think maybe a league where he can sort of wind down, maybe the French league, go back home there. Look, I wish him all the best in his career. But now as Spurs fans, we've got to look at who the new goalkeeper coming in is. This is why I say we need to appoint a manager soon, because the longer we take to appoint a manager, the less time we have for that manager to actually bring in the players he wants. So look, who could come in as the next Spurs goalkeeper? I'm not even going to speculate because we don't even have a manager yet and know who he might like. But look, if it is to be Ange Postecoglou, get Joe Hart back. No, I'm dicking around. Although he's not terrible, Joe Hart. He's been good at Celtic, but not Joe Hart. I mean, there's some decent keepers out there. We'll have to find out. That's a conversation for another day. But look, the news is that Hugo Lloris is leaving Spurs. I think it's the right decision. Comment down below your thoughts on it. You know, do you feel it's the right decision, or do you feel Hugo Lloris could have carried on a little bit longer? Look, as Spurs fans in general, yes, we've criticised him a lot this season, but a majority of his time at Spurs, it's hard to, but let's try and not remember it for the ending. Let's try and remember it for all the good times under Poch, and when he was one of the best keepers in the world. You know, World Cup winning captain, all of that stuff. So look, Hugo Lloris, wish him all the best. Let's remember the good stuff he delivered. Thank you for watching this video. Take care of yourselves. All the best. God bless. And as always, have a smashing rest of your weekend.